Hi, this is Bishop Bob with another TMCI 5 to 6 minutes word of encouragement and equipping. Uh, Today I want to share the last episode of Spiritual Thoughts for Leaders. Peter Drucker wrote, "There's no correlation between potential and performance. There's lots of people with potential that do nothing with it. What counts is performance. Great leaders do something." First James 1:22 says, "Be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourself." As leaders, God has called us to be doers of the word and not just triers. We're called to be steadfast in our calling. One must act under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, but we must act. Jesus, when he was a child, said he must be about his Father's business. And as leaders, we must be about our Father's business. Peter, during his training days with Christ, got out of the boat and walked on water to Christ. He was the only one to get out of that boat. Great leaders do something. And God used him on Pentecost to lead 3,000 to Christ. Paul got knocked off his horse by Christ. He got up and served him. Paul was stoned almost to death, and some actually think he did die and went to heaven. But Paul got up, he went back to the village and was preaching the next day. Great leaders do something. 1 Peter 5:2-3 tells us, "Shepherd the flock of God, which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion, but willingly, not for dishonest gain, but eagerly, not being lords over those entrusted to you, but being example of the flock." We are to be willing leaders wanting the best for our people. We are to be an example to the flock. People expect their leaders to be transparent in their communication, honesty, and action. And as example, they expect leaders' behavior to be the same as in the home, in the workplace, in the world as it is in the church. People want an honest lifestyle, consistent between what we say and what we do. Now, there's an old saying, what we do speaks so loud they can't hear what you're saying. People expect their leaders to be competent, far-looking. Leaders must lead and have a God-given vision for the people and lead them in fulfilling the vision, which gives the people a sense of direction and security for the future. They also expect the leaders to be inspirational. Leaders must communicate the vision with enthusiasm, energy, and a positive attitude about the future. Remember, if you don't believe in it, nobody else will. What does God expect from leaders? To be the best servant possible and serve the people by equipping them for ministry. Ephesians 4:11 and 12. As Christian leaders, I would really encourage you to take and read and meditate on 1 Peter 5:1-11, which gives you the scriptural guideline for Christian leadership. As leaders, we must learn to trust God and step boldly in faith and do what God has called us to do, no matter what the circumstances. I like what it says in 1 Samuel 17:18, the story about David. It was that when the Philistine rose and came and drew near to meet David, that David hurried and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. You see, David boldly faced the enemy. He was not intimidated about the size of the problem. He ran to the problem, Goliath. It takes faith and trust in God to move forward. And remember, if God be for you, who can be against you? I recently read a story of a Christian family in a fishing village in New Guinea. They were ostracized by the other villages for their faith. An alarm went out that a tsunami was heading for the village. Most villagers naturally ran for higher ground, but the Spirit of the Lord told the family to row towards the wave. Being people of faith, they did what the Spirit told them. Not long after they launched the surface and made it past the breaker, the contour of the approaching wave became visible to them. They strained on the oars, and it became literally an uphill battle to row over the rising swell of the tsunami. Finally, they crested the wave and dropped behind the water. And when the wave hit the shore, it caused a backlash that pushed their boat out to the sea. It took them a day to row back to the village where they found no survivors. Did you have the faith to row towards the way? Today, as leaders, we must be willing to row against public opinion and the evilness around us. We must be willing to trust God and believe God for the victory. You know, God has great things for those who will step out by faith. So that's my prayer for you, that you will boldly go forth by faith and do what God has called you to do. To do less would be shameful. Go forth and lead. Have a blessed week.
Thanks so much for watching TMCI TV. If you found any benefit in this episode, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date with our future videos. If you are interested in planning a church, starting a ministry, or looking for 501c3 tax exemption status for your existing church or ministry, TMCI can help. Click the link in the description below for more information. We look forward to hearing from you soon. God bless.